All right, let's tackle one of the most fascinating puzzles in all of psychology. It's a paradox that seems to completely defy logic, but stick with me because by the end of this, you're going to hold the key to understanding the whole thing. So let's just dive right in with the big mystery. Why do people so often get happier as they get older? I mean, everything we're taught suggests aging is a story of decline, right? Health, energy, you name it. And yet, the science, study after study, shows the opposite is true. Happiness actually tends to go up. So what is going on here? Well, there's a name for it. Scientists call it the paradox of aging. And it's not some weird fluke, it's a real predictable pattern. So, our mission today, we are going to crack this code together. Let's solve it. Okay, so where do we even start? The first huge clue to solving this paradox isn't where you'd expect to find it. It has nothing to do with calendars or birthdays. Nope, it's all in our heads. It's about how we perceive time itself. This brings us to the core idea from Stanford psychologist Laura Carstensen. It's called Socio-Emotional Selectivity Theory, or SST for short. And its central claim is incredibly powerful. The single biggest thing that drives our life's goals isn't our age. It's our perception of the future, of how much time we think we have left. Let's break this down. When you're young, your time horizon feels, well, infinite, so you play the long game. Your main goal is gathering knowledge. You learn new things, you network with strangers, you even put up with boring work events because it's all an investment in your future. But as that horizon shrinks, the goal completely flips. The priority becomes maximizing positive emotions right now. Investing for later makes less sense, savoring the moment makes all the sense in the world. Okay, so if this massive shift in goals is happening on the inside, what does that actually look like on the outside? It leads to a very deliberate, very strategic action that you can actually see in people's lives. The whole process really unfolds in 3 simple steps. First, our internal clock assesses our time horizon, how much road is left ahead. Second, that assessment makes our goals shift away from knowledge seeking and toward emotion seeking. And third, this is the big one, we act on that shift by carefully curating or pruning our social lives. In your youth, your social world probably looks something like this. It's a huge, diverse circle. You've got your close family and best friends, for sure. But you also have tons of colleagues, acquaintances, random networking contacts. You're casting this really wide net for all those future possibilities. But then, as that time horizon changes, the circle strategically tightens. Now, you're not having less of a social life. You're having a more efficient one. You start focusing exclusively on the relationships that give you the biggest emotional bang for your buck, your close family and your absolute dearest friends.
And this point is absolutely crucial. From the outside, it might look like people are withdrawing or disengaging from the world. But that's not what's happening. It's an incredibly active, highly strategic process of selecting for happiness.
And get this, it gets even more interesting. Our brains actually give us a helping hand here. Researchers have identified something called the positivity effect, where the aging brain literally gets better at focusing on positive stuff and just letting the negative stuff go. It's like developing a cognitive superpower for staying happy. So this all seems to be about getting older, right? But here is the major plot twist. The most powerful evidence for this theory shows that this whole mechanism, it isn't actually about age at all. Is this just some behavior that's hardwired to kick in when you turn 60 or 70? Or is there something much more fundamental going on? Here's the slam dunk proof. When Laura Carstensen studied college students, she found that seniors in their final weeks before graduation, who were facing an ending, behaved exactly like older adults. They stopped trying to meet tons of new people and instead focused all their limited time on their closest friends. And that just nails it. The trigger isn't the number of candles on your cake. It's the perception that a chapter, any chapter, is coming to a close. It's all about that time horizon.
I've got the perfect analogy for this. Imagine you move to Paris and you're planning to live there indefinitely. In your first few weeks, you do all the practical stuff, right? You open a bank account, you figure out the metro system, you meet the neighbors. These are all knowledge goals. You're investing in your long future there.
Okay, but now imagine it's your last day in Paris. You're not going to the bank, No way. You are going straight to your favorite little bakery for that perfect croissant, and you're just going to sit and savor the moment by the Eiffel Tower. Your goal has shifted completely to pure emotion. And that right there is the profound takeaway. In a way, the wisdom of aging is just learning to live every day with that beautiful, focused intentionality of a traveler on their last day in Paris. So let's bring it all home. We've got the clues, we've got the theory. We can now officially solve our paradox and figure out what this all means for every single one of us. This theory just completely reframes those old stereotypes. That so-called grumpy old man who doesn't want to go to a loud party, he's not being antisocial. He's being an expert emotional accountant. He's calculated that the joy from staying home with a good book is a much better return on his time. It's not stubbornness, it's strategy. So here it is, the solution to the paradox of aging. Happiness often increases because older adults become masters of their emotional lives. They're not passively declining, they are actively engineering their world for well-being, prioritizing those deep connections, and becoming incredibly efficient at creating their own joy. And that leaves all of us with a really powerful question. You don't have to be old to use this wisdom. Think about your job, the city you live in, or just this phase of your life. If you really knew your time there was finite, what emotionally important things would you choose to do, starting right now?